in a former episode that I recorded with Mission Wealth, I spoke with John Werns, who was formerly the chief marketing officer at Wealth Enhancement Group and probably one of the, I think, brightest marketing minds in our industry. And he and I were sort of joking around like about how there's really less than 20 firms today, maybe not even 20, that are doing that type of corporate driven digital lead generation well and profitably for a number of reasons. It's hard, it's costly, it requires a different structure, and most firms have skipped over the foundational elements that are required for those programs to be successful. Do you feel that pressure? I mean, is that a conversation that's happened that you've discussed at Parallel?
So, I'll take this one. So I believe so. Advisors are constantly asking for this, right? So this is something that is not new, or this is something that I think we've heard from pretty much close to day one, that advisors have asked for. How can I get leads? Like you mentioned, it is a very difficult thing to do, and going back to what has made our advisors successful today, it's more about the culture, the resources, the economics, because we can support and having the services that they can go out and talk to clients about. Our advisors have been very successful in just generating self-sourced referrals, and I feel like whenever I'm on panels talking about growth and people ask me, CJ, why is Parallel growing so rapidly? They're expecting a silver bullet answer. It's this one thing that we're doing, Meg. And really it's not. It's the hundreds of things that we do at Parallel. I wish we could do it for our advisors, but at the end of the day, I've been an advisor. The advisor needs to be active. They need to be the one, driving the business. We have tried a few different things to try and support lead gen, and we haven't found the right formula yet to have it be successful. We are going to continue trying, but at the end of the day, it's not an easy endeavor, and it is costly, and there needs to be proper training. And at the end of the day, if advisors are successful getting referrals on their own, they're probably more likely to continue doing that versus giving up some sort of compensation to offset the cost of a lead gen program. So our plan A is to support advisors to go out there and do it themselves. We're going to continue to, do plan B, work on plan B, but it is costly. So, there needs to be some sort of offset from a profitability standpoint to have that be successful. We've benchmarked our compensation heavily. It's something that we do every year to make sure that we're sort of a top payer in the industry, not just for advisors, but across the board. And, that's one of the things that we do pay very well. I think our advisors enjoy a very nice compensation framework. And, because of that, if we have to, for profitability reasons, invest heavily in an area like digital lead gen, we can't afford as a firm to pay the same levels of compensation to advisors. So that's kind of the trade-off. The other thing I'll say too is that there are firms out there offering higher levels of compensation. And my retort to that is, for any advisor that's talking to one of those firms, is ask for a P&L statement. Let's see if that's a profitable firm, because, being at this now for almost 20 years, I know where, and compensation to advisors is one of the biggest expense, the cost of goods sold, one of the biggest expense items at the firm. And so there's only so much that you can do to run a profitable firm. Just to, give you a real story. I mean, we piloted a digital lead gen program a couple of years ago, and we were able to get a lot of leads. We basically chose 4 counties here around the Bay Area. And we were doing, targeted, zip code and demographic, marketing to get leads off of social media. And what we found is we got a lot of leads, to your point earlier. But the advisors, the team that we had on that weren't able to convert those leads to clients. And that's kind of where it failed. And we still have that program. I think at some point we're going to revisit it, but I do think it requires a different model where you've got a very highly skilled sales team. Yeah. So you're almost bifurcating sales from advice. So that I believe it can happen. It is costly, but I believe it can be successful.
It can.
What I would prefer is invest in culture, invest in resources, invest in economics for advisors, support them to do their own lead gen, because they are warm leads, they are referrals. That's where we've had success in the past. But not all advisors are, driven. They don't have the skill set to be sales or don't like it. So we have a structure at Parallel where they can partner with other advisors that maybe are good at that skill. And the servicing advisor, is good at that skill, so we can we have teams at Parallel that can kind of complement different skill sets between advisors, which I think is a really powerful model as well.